We got Metro Councilman Aaron Moak in the house this morning. Councilman Moak, good morning. Welcome aboard.
Good morning.
Welcome
Good
back,
morning.
man.
Happy Mardi Gras season, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. A big Mardi Gras weekend. Is what was it? Artemis on Friday, and then Mystique and Orion on Saturday.
Yeah,
here in town.
big weekend for Baton Rouge, and then of course New Orleans coming up this weekend as far as their big parades and everything with actual Mardi Gras. So
Yep. We'll have all the big ones in New Orleans. Endymion, Toth, Bacchus. Fake Orpheus. Sorry, sure. Like Orpheus started in Mandeville, and then Harry Connick Jr. decided, I'm a celebrity. I don't have to see if anybody else has got this name. And I love Harry Connick Jr., but he stole the name Orpheus, so it's fake Orpheus down there. And of course, South Downs in Spanish Town. Right here in Baton Rouge.
We'll be in South Downs this weekend. Myself, Jim Rocca, and a couple others will be on the one of the South Down floats. So everybody come out and join us.
I'll be on the lookout for it. Wait, yourself, Jen Rocca, and I mean, no quorum here, right?
No quorum.
All right.
We don't
Keep tab.
We're not putting the whole council on one float.
Fair enough. Although you know what? If that's how business got done, I'd be in favor of it.
Well, I have my opinions on those. As long as you don't talk city business, you can gather, but we keep it right.
Well, you'd be open for public comment as the fleet goes by.
Right.
Shout things at the council as they go by.
Should we throw these beads or not? Let's have a decision here.
All right, let's roll back the clock to last Wednesday. I read an article over with our news partners at WBRC. They said that the Metro Council kind of ran out the clock and was not able to talk about underage drinking at Tigerland bars or Baton Rouge bars as a result of running out the clock. I hit you up and I was like, what happened, man?
Right. Yeah. So yes, you're exactly right. On last week's council meeting, it was a long one. We pushed the not only the time limit as far as what we had, but we added an extra 30 minutes to it, and we pushed right up to it. Look, we had a lot of discussion items. Councilman Dunn brought up some stuff with the Baton Rouge Police Department. We had several. One of the discussion items got done. We had one of the big things was the wastewater treatment plant. That took up a lot of time. There was a lot of good discussion on that. We had some privatization things that we were talking about wastewater treatment and basically how we were protecting the East Baton Rouge employees that are out there.
Okay, let's dive into this. What was proposed and what were we aiming to do with wastewater treatment?
So with wastewater treatment, what we do is we have a north and south plant, and we are privatization, the operation and maintenance of those locations. We had a couple engineers, very good quality engineers that sent in requests for proposals, gave some good information. We scored those out through the scoring process, and we had to vote on one of the engineering firms, which is Jacobs Engineering, to take over the process. Real quick to jump back to your the underage drinking and everything.
Yeah.
That was an introductory item.
Right.
It was not up for discussion. It was strictly introduced, and it will be coming up at the next council meeting. We want everybody to come out, listen to that. If you have any comments, please send those in.
Absolutely. And yeah, that is a matter of procedure.
Correct.
And easily, like when you see it on the agenda, it's like, oh, there it is on the agenda, but you got to know if that's up
Correct.
for
A lot of times when you read the
discussion.
agenda, the first, good 30 to 50 items are your introduction items.
Right.
And then you have planning and introduction items and so on.
All right. So back to the wastewater.
Right.
So has it, up until now, it has not been privatized, correct?
Correct. Some functions of it was, but this is the full privatization of the whole place. But what it really boils down to is we want to do the most efficient, best operation. Look, there's nothing worse than you get a good rainwater event and sewer starts backing up into somebody's homes. We have, we've had issues to where, we've had to pay for that. We've had to pay for apartment complexes and everything. And City Parish just felt like the time was right that we could get, better operations, more efficiency over privatization of it, and let a contractor come in that can give a long-range plan and operate these plants. So once you start making that transition, and I get it, a lot of people look to City Parish for jobs. They look for security. They look for all kind of reasons, whether you work for a state, city, parish, local government, or whatever. It's a lot of times not the pay, it's the benefits.
Sure.
I get it. With a privatization company, you have most of the time you have a lot more pay. Benefits are pretty good. But what we wanted to make sure as a council, in my opinion, as a council, was I wanted to make sure these employees were taken care of. So they have the option to apply to the new engineering firm that is taken over, or they can reassess their employment application that they have with East Baton Rouge Parish, any new training and everything, and move into different departments in East Baton Rouge Parish, a lateral move. Mm-hmm. One of the things that came up was pay. If you make a lateral move and that pay scale is not available, some were saying, and they were concerned about having to maybe bump down their pay a little bit for a little time until they get back into a position that would reach their pay scale. My big concern was, we don't want that. Whatever we need to change, they're going straight lateral over, same pay, same benefits, same everything. And that's pretty much what we worked out and got a good guarantee for.
Okay. So I don't know that should be the primary concern. I appreciate that you're looking out for everybody, but you should be looking for efficiency and effectiveness, right?
To me, that's going to, the efficiency and effectiveness by having the contract before us and having the information and the scaling out and where we're going, to me, that was being taken care of with the contract and what we was approving. Yes, you're absolutely right. Efficiency and effectiveness. Look, I come from the city of Central, and everything is privatized out there from the get-go.
Yes.
Every single thing is privatized through our resources. I'm a big proponent of privatization. But when it comes to something like East Baton Rouge Parish or a state government or things like that, one of the things to me is to make these employees whole. Okay. And that is a big thing. The contract, the operations, the efficiency and everything else, that's being taken care of and I think coming along due to the privatization. So that's done. Now where do we go with the employees?
So back to the effectiveness, because I think this is where, for all of us, this is going to be a much bigger story moving forward. Because when you talk about wastewater treatment, where you start talking about all the other topics that have been in the news recently when it comes to being out of compliance with the EPA, for example, how did all of that tie into this discussion?
Well, excuse me. Every bit of that ties in. Stormwater, MS4, stormwater, sewer, drainage. Now, this is mainly sewer, which we're already under a consent decree for our sewer and everything. So it doesn't really exactly tie in straight with all the stormwater and the MS4 contract and everything, but it all has to do, the stormwater stuff has to do with the flow of the sewer, the ditches and things like that and so on. All those have to be cleaned out so that the sewer doesn't back up into people's homes. We got to keep the wastewater treatment plants operating and pumps flowing so that it doesn't back up into people's homes. So as far as a direct tie-in, I can't really answer to that. But as far as flow of water in East Baton Rouge Parish, it all comes in together, and every bit of it has to be more efficient and operating at peak capacity.
Aside from making sure everyone, there's an attempt to have everyone come out whole at the other end of this, what would be the other points of contention against privatization?
I think some of the things that were brought up were basically we want to have great workers and everything for East Baton Rouge Parish and employees of the parish. And a lot of people, and you can talk to different people at different times, feel like if they work for East Baton Rouge Parish, they have more vested into it, they have more efficiency that they want to do and accomplish and all. And I get it. I went to work for the fire department when I was young, and my whole thing was, it wasn't to pay. I can guarantee you that.
Right.
It was about the benefits and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to operation and long-term viability, I think a lot of cities are looking at the privatization that companies can come in and they can quickly more adapt to changing roles and what needs to happen on the fly faster and more efficient than a city parish government can. So again, I think it goes back to why, one of the issues is having jobs created by East Baton Rouge Parish, and a lot of people want to bring everything in-house.
Metro Councilman Aaron Moak's our guest. All right, so that discussion took up a whole lot. Yes. There were also talks about moving, I want to say it was using $900,000 in efforts to eliminate blight. Was that on the topic for last week?
Yes, it was a...
Build Baton Rouge, I think.
Yeah, Build Baton Rouge got $900,000 now. This is something that they've done before. It is, I think some of the funding is coming from a grant, the others coming from us. But look, blight is a huge issue in East Baton Rouge Parish. And we have done, I know it's been one of the big topics on this council since starting was how faster and efficient can we start taking care of this blight.
Yeah.
And so, look, anything that I don't have a lot in my area, don't get me wrong. But I recognize that other council members in their area have stuff that they need to get taken care of efficiently and quickly. And if we have the funding that we can help from other sources, whether it be grants or utilities or other organizations helping out to make that faster, I'm all for that.
One more before we move forward to what we can expect for next meeting. But that was on the $1.9 million for police department operational expenses. Is it standard or was this new money?
The 1 point, trying to remember. I think that was standard.
Okay.
Yeah, that was standard.
All right. That would just be the normal normal operations of the BRPD. Well, you had mentioned Councilman Dunn had something with BRPD as well.
Correct. He brought up a discussion about, Councilman Dunn wanted to bring up a discussion about the efficiency of car chases. Of course, you know, we had that tragic incident a few weeks back.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. So he wanted to bring up some of the policies and procedures on car chases and issuing warrants.
Okay.
And, you know, that is some big topics with the police departments all over the nation right now, as far as warrants and serving and things like that. And how far do you go? Where do you stop? Some of the damages that are done by different departments and everything, and who's responsible for those things. We've had a couple of incidents. It was the people that spoke at the council meeting about Baton Rouge Police Department coming in, what they did and how they did it and how they issued their warrant and what they did once they got in the home or whatever. So he wanted to have, it was a good discussion. I think we got some good information. The sheriff's office was invited. Baton Rouge Police Department was invited. I think we're going to see some more discussion on it and how and what we can do.
Well, and this is one where I think I can give a tip of the hat to our current council. Previous Metro councils in Baton Rouge would not have gotten this far with the discussion. I hesitate to say that because it's taking shots at people that can't defend themselves. But y'all's level of conversation and cooperation is at a different level than we used to be.
It is. And that's one of the good things. Like you said, with this council on both sides, we're having discussions on each way. You know, they're bringing up topics that they're concerned about. We're listening. We're bringing up topics that we're concerned about. And the whole point is that everybody comes in and we mesh, and then we try and solve all these problems. And the Baton Rouge Police Department has worked with us also.
Metro Councilman Aaron Moak going to be with us for another minute and a half. Before we get you out of here, let's look ahead to that discussion on underage drinking. Clearly, this isn't your district that would have the Tigerland bars in it. That's where most of the underage drinking would happen.
Look, the underage drinking affects everyone. So.
Yeah. So what do you have solutions proposed, or are you just going in looking to hear everybody else?
I want to go in and looking to hear everybody else. Hopefully we can strengthen some of these ordinances. I think the whole thing is getting out there, working with our ABC board, getting out there and sending more people into the field, I think, so that the bars realize, hey, they're out here on a regular basis. You know, right now, I think sometimes it gets kind of lax. You start talking to people and, well, you know, what's the chances of the ABC board coming in, or what's the chances of them sending somebody to do things? You know, hopefully we can get more out in the field on a regular, consistent basis. And they realize any moment now that, or every weekend, there's going to be somebody in your bar that could be there.
It's the longevity of the program that would be the effectiveness of the program.
Correct. Also, what I would love to see happen is when you have places like Tigerland or even Perkins Overpass or downtown, where you have groups and clusters of bars where people are walking around constantly going, almost bar hopping and stuff. I would love to see, and some of these places are doing it. I know there was a police presence at Dior. I would love to see more community policing on those Fridays and Saturdays, just a natural community policing in the area for those groups of bars, as far as letting them walk around and enjoy themselves on a regular basis, whether the bars put in X amount for extra duty, but it'd be a guaranteed process each time.
And where you would have a group of them together would be probably the places where they would
correct. You know, let them go in together. Hire some off-duty officers that would patrol that area from, say, 9 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's not a matter of just trying to catch people with a DUI or something like that. It's assisting them and making sure that they're protected. Like I said, when it's large groups of bars in certain areas.
Yeah, because all those areas would have those congregant meeting places like a parking lot or whatever. You're keeping an eye out for the whole, not just for
one bar.
Right,
so.
exactly. Okay. We come to the end of the segment and you open up all the conversations.
right.
Continue as you seem to do every time. He is Metro Councilman Aaron Moak. I appreciate a couple minutes this morning.
No, thank you. Glad to be here.
Due up for news. Coming back, we'll talk with the folks from JT Mellick next. So, yeah, y'all are and the hard part about the bar thing, and we're still on Facebook, the hard part about the bar thing is the bar owners, how many times have they been round and round with this? Where, yeah, there's a lot of hubbub. We'll tighten up for a couple minutes.
Correct.
A semester or two will pass, and then it'll be back to business as usual.
Right. Like I said, I would love to see, it's always difficult. It's always about funding. Everybody talks about resources and things like that. But if you're ever going to really solve the problem, consistency is your main thing. And that's what I was talking about with the ABC, sending people in or police sending undercover, whatever in. I don't know. I don't know what their actual percentage is as far as sending them out there. But I don't hear from the bars much about. Usually, you'll hear something, rumblings about, well, there was an undercover that went in or something like that.
Well, and the undercovers from ABC they're not the most inconspicuous. That's
making it kind of obvious.
Yeah.
But if you get rumored out there that it's happening regularly and consistently,
right,
that's enough to put it in your head that, what, screw this. It's not worth our time or effort to try and get away with this.
Well, and yeah, that's just it's the consistency. You're absolutely right. It's the staying with the foot on the gas the whole way through. So
yeah, that's like, and that just led me to the, and like I said, again, I just thought about it when you talk about upcoming discussions and everything. I mean, you take, like, Dior had police officers there.
Yeah.
They were already paying. Look, you got Dior there. You've got, the station across the street.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a couple questionable clubs right next door or whatever. If you take that cluster and you say, okay, we're all going to go in and get one deputy each.
Right.
And instead of just sitting in your parking lot, not caring about what's going on across the street or whatever else, have them patrol the area. They're either walking patrolling.
Sure.
Walking patrols and stuff like that. They're not there to harass anybody. They're not there to do anything. It's just other than protect that area if something gets out of hand.
Well, and this is one where, and I think the chief would very much want to get his real-time crime center involved in this.
Correct.
Because if you can remove police from stay in your unit and everything's monitored on camera and you don't have to get out and start looking until, hey, there's something going on over here type of that way.
But they're already in the area.
They're
Right.
They're on site. Yeah, they are on site, but not being intrusive that it would.
Right. As we got you talk about, clusters of bars in certain areas downtown. We're looking to open up a new division downtown. I know there's a little staging area type thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they're actually putting a division unit office downtown.
Okay.
So hopefully we're working on that. That was part of when we started talking about doing downtown as an entertainment district. That's one of the things that people wanted was a constant police presence downtown.
Yeah.